everyone, my name is Alexandra and welcome to Creative 404. In today's video, I'm going to show you a new member of my family as well as some more fabrics for Doll Scale Fabrics, which I'm going to release. I know that I did the sublimation printing and all of that, but I really want to get fabrics that are more wholesaleable or are more available for wholesale. So I have been working on that, but let me show you Monster. Whoop. And here's Monster. Monster is a dwarf hamster who likes to crawl all over my arm. And here's Monster. Monster is a dwarf hamster. Sorry for if it's a little blurry. She's a little bit... Oops, she gonna run off. Come on, Monster. Come on, Monster. Get in front of the camera. Monster is a dwarf hamster who has a bit of a body count. She is a killer. And she's just an angry little dwarf hamster. She's been returned to the store twice already. And she is a little beast. She thinks she's so fierce. I love her dearly because she's so tiny and fierce. Oops, she's gonna run up again. She's so tiny and fierce, and she absolutely... Oh, come on. Here. Watch this. She's so tiny and fierce. So here is Monster. Monster is a little dwarf hamster with a bit of a body count. She is a killer. She's killed all of her little housemates, and so the pet store had to isolate her from everyone else. Not only that, but she's been returned twice because of her temperament. She's a bit of a frisky little mouse, and she is fierce. She likes to bite a lot, and she'll fight your fingers if you put them in the cage with her. But she doesn't really break skin because she's so tiny. But I have to keep a good eye on her. I am pretty new to hamsters, so I will be looking up YouTube videos on how to take care of them. I'm going to put her in her cage and talk a little bit more. And she is the most adorable little hamster I've ever owned. I've been wanting a hamster for a very long time because I read romance novels, and one of my favorites is Anita Blake. She is not Anita Blake, Stephanie Plum. Stephanie Plum has a hamster called Rex, who is this mess of a 30-year-old with so many troubles, and it is hilarious. And I've always wanted a hamster. My brother recently works at a pet store, and this pet store can't seem to find a good home for little Monster. She is just fierce. She's killed all of her housemates, anyone that goes in the cage with her. She has been returned twice because of her temperament is very nasty. She wants to fight your fingers, and she'll bite and nibble, but she doesn't break the skin. But when you're around small children with, softer skin, it's a little bit harder to keep a pet hamster or a dwarf hamster with them. But as a grown adult with only 2 dogs, and my dogs are okay with her as long as I keep them separated, they don't seem to mind. She has a cute little cage and everything. Right now she has a temporary cage, and I'll show you that in a minute. But her temporary cage is a tub with like this huge tub for her. It's about 100 times her size, and she loves it. So I took today off. It's Monday, and I decided to take a personal day because so much has happened, and I've been so busy this last month that I really needed some personal time to myself to do stuff to make me happy. I had a family member recently die from COVID. My mom's dog died. It has just been just a bad year all around, or at least this last week. It's just a lot going on, and I just really wanted to de-stress and relax and do stuff that really makes me happy. As of late, my boss has not been happy with me, which makes it a lot more stressful. Apparently, the design that I made that was approved never got approved higher up in the food chain, and the VP of this project did not like it. He actually absolutely hated it, and instead of looking at the people that approved it, they looked at the person that made it, which was me. So it's just been really hard on me. My boss is, because she's getting kicked around by people above her, decides to kick me around because that's how she is. She's actively told me that she likes being the one that's in power. She doesn't like people that are above her because she can't say anything to them, but she can do whatever she wants to people below her. Not her exact words, but that was the gist of what she said. And so it's just been really hard for me because I know that's the reason why she's been particularly nasty. So there's nothing much I can do about it. I mean, that is work. I live in a state that's called right to work, or work for something or another. Basically, you can get fired for any reason, doesn't matter what. And so I've been a little stressed out. I don't think I'm going to get fired. I mean, there is that possibility because of what type of state this is in the US and their working laws here in this particular state in the US. But that doesn't mean that it's not possible. It's not like it's possible. It's not something that is off the table. So it does add a little bit of stress. I don't think I'm going to get fired because of one project, because I did follow the rules. I did get it approved by the people that were above me, and even my boss approved it. So the reason why she's attacking me now, it just makes no sense, and I'm just frustrated. I'm told by people, oh, we want you to offer us more than what we're asking. And so I offer them more than what they're asking, and they go, no, that's not what I asked. And so it's funny because when I give them what they ask, they're like, well, we wanted you to do more than what we asked. We wanted you to wow us with your design, make us something that's pop. We don't want you to just give us what we want. And so I give them something that's poppy, and they go, no, that's not what I wanted. And they do that over and over again until eventually I just make exactly what they asked for, and they're like, thank you. And it's just so frustrating. I just don't know what to do anymore. And so, I mean, that's just work. I mean, everybody has things about work that they don't like, but I just wish I could figure things out. And I talked to my therapist recently about it, and she asked me if I was feeling like unconfident, like in my abilities, and I'm still pretty confident in my abilities. I think what has happened over the years is that it's all become meh to me. Like, design it doesn't have the spark it used to have when I was younger. And now that I've been inundated with the within my career, and I'm actually into a pretty high level of my career, there isn't really much that, I haven't seen. I've been through several rebrandings throughout my career. I've been working with advertisement agencies. I've replaced advertisement agencies. I've been replaced by advertisement agencies. And it's just, to me, there's nothing enjoyable with what I do anymore. I mean, there's sometimes I get a project that's particularly challenging and I enjoy it, and someone gets really happy when I make it for them. But then there's just days where I'm just like, why do I do this as a career anymore? I mean, it's my skill set, it's what I do. I just don't know. And I am kind of I really want what I want to do, and what I've been thinking of doing now is becoming my own boss. I think I've gotten to a point in my career where either I can become a creative director, which I kind of am right now. I am a creative director, but without the prestigious title. It's what people are expecting of me to be. And it's like, that's not my job title. I'm not a creative director. I'm just a print and web designer. It's not exactly a high title. It's not like I'm a director. It's not like I'm a VP of creative design. No, I'm just a regular Joe within the creative design field. And I am just I am at a loss. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know, I just I wish things were easier in a way. I mean, work is work, but it doesn't mean it has to be something that, takes up your life. And I don't want it to take up my life anymore. I mean, I live and breathe design, don't get me wrong. Design is in my nature. I'm a creative person. I designed these particular fabrics for making doll clothes. I love product design. I love things like that. I want to learn more about marketing and business so that when I do decide to become my own boss, I have a good basis in which to become that person that I want to be. And like I said before, I'm at the point of my career where either I go up, or either I stay where I'm at, or I can go up. And usually when you're in a particular field, up is the only way to go. They don't, you always, like, you get your bonus, you get your raise, and if they give you a raise, they want you to be, I mean, you got the experience, you've been with the company for a while, they want you to go higher up in the totem pole. And the only thing for me to do is become the creative director, which is what my boss is trying to get me to become. But I'm kind of dragging my heels about it because I don't want to be a creative director. I'm too passive. I don't have that particular authority. Like, I could pretend to have the authority. I mean, that's what most people do. They pretend it, fake it till you make it, right? And I don't know. It's been really hard, and this month has been very challenging for me. I can't lie about that. It has definitely brought things to question. Um, but I changed jobs. I mean, I was with my last company for um, I was with my last company for 2 years, which is the longest I've been with the company. Being as it is, being how it's been the recession, it's been things like that. It's just, it's being an animator. That's what I was before I became a designer, just a regular graphic designer. I was just an animator. And being an animator, the industry is just so rocky here in Houston that you can't really do much for being a animator in Houston. So I just don't know anymore, and I love this fabric. These are my samples that I got from a Chinese manufacturer. I made these myself, and the designs I bought. I bought the designs, and then I made the pattern, and some of the designs were pattern, and I just made it to the right scale. I paid the money, I paid the licensing fees, and this was just to save time. And then I curated it, changed the colors, and just made it so that it works with what I need it to be. I think one of my dreams right now is to become my own boss, like I said, but I want to own a small business. My uncle owns a restaurant well, he owns a couple of franchises for a restaurant chain, and he is pretty successful at it. He's really good at doing what he is doing, but he's not the best at giving advice. Well, sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. And I don't think he's the best at giving work advice. For one, he's not in my particular field. While there's commonalities between working as a restaurant owner, owning your own business, or owning your own franchise, it's different from being your own business to being a design business, because one is in the restaurant industry, one is in the design industry, and while there's some overlap, there is still quite a bit different. And maybe that's just me and my limited knowledge of everything, but that's how I see it. And so I'm making small steps now to become my own boss. One of those steps is sitting here talking to you guys on the YouTube channel, and another is slowly building up an Etsy store like I see my favorite YouTubers do, and try to become well, I don't want to be a freelancer, because freelancers really don't make much money. In all honesty, I don't see many freelancers making too much money, and I'm at the point of a career where I make a pretty decent amount of money doing what I do. And I'm being modest, I know I am. Even my therapist is like, you make a lot of money, and I'm like, well, it's not like I make six figures. If I were to be a programmer, I could probably make six figures, at least low six figures, but I don't. And I wonder if if I make a successful business, would I be able to make more than would I be able to make that low six-figure income? Because you're going to have to make a good income if you're going to start wanting to live the same life that you lived before. Because I still have all these bills. I still have to pay for my student loans. I still have things that need to be done, and I'm still an adult that needs to do the adult things. And I want to be able to afford my own insurance. Insurance in the United States is not cheap, and I expect to be spending $500 to $1,000 on insurance alone. And then there's business insurance. Then you have to copyright your own business name. You have to copyright your designs that you make. You have to do a lot of different things when it comes to owning your own business. And so I am trying my darnest to learn everything I can in my spare time about businessship, marketing, and just doing things legit. I mean, I know quite a bit of legit schematics when it comes to design. I mean, I know what type of licensing I need if I'm going to resell fabric. I understand a little bit of the requirements of fan art. I understand there is a big gray area when it comes to fan art, but I'm still going to end up selling fan art because I know that people can make a living selling fan art, and it's a good way to get your name out there. And I love this fabric. It's a very thin, I know I'm just all over the place. I'm like, oh, and I love this fabric. It's so great. It's a lightweight cotton, and I think it's perfect for small dog clothes. It is so lightweight. It's not super sheer, It's not thin, but it's lightweight and it's nice. I really am enjoying this. She made it on the 7/28. That is nice. 28. That is nice. This one came out so good. It is so bright and vibrant. I am definitely ordering this one for my Etsy store. I'm trying to figure out how much to purchase. I was thinking maybe 3 yards to start off with of each fabric. I ultimately want to be able to afford to buy 10 yards, which is a full bolt of fabric, but I think 3 yards per pattern, because I have 28 patterns here that I'm cutting out, and I am just trying my best to cut this out. But it's really cute. I adore it. I am going to make so many little dresses out of this one right here. I'm probably going to order the Halloween fabric pretty soon so that I can open my store up at least for Halloween. I'm probably going to do 3 yards of 5, so 15 yards of the fabric. And I need to go see how much 15 yards of fabric is going to cost me, and put in that order for 15 yards of the Halloween fabric. I currently have 3 Halloween fabrics that I enjoy, and I might do a couple of Christmas ones. So let's see. These are my plain ones. These are the cute baby ones. Oh, that one came out great. Oh, that came out great too. So we have this Halloween one. I'm gonna do, actually, I should do sets. I should figure out these designs and then make my own based upon the designs that I like, so that you could have a set. So right here is a set. Maybe not this year. No, I think that's asking too much to make sets. I love sets, but I think just having a couple of each. So I have 3 Halloween and 3 Christmas. And I think that's perfect. So I am going to do 3 yards of each. And so that will be, and I'll turn them into quilting squares so that I can sell them as quilting squares, which is just enough to make a Blythe dress. And I'm going to do 3 yards of each, so that's 9, 3, 6, 9, 18 yards. 3, 6, 9, yeah, I think that's 18 yards. 18 yards of these 6 fabrics, and do that pretty soon. I have this 1 yard of, or they do it in meters, so 1 meter of this particular fabric, which is my sample fabric. I asked for 1 meter of all my samples, and she printed up all my samples for 1 meter. I think it was maybe $200 or close there too, which I don't think was too expensive. There's a store in the US that does custom printed fabric, and it's $5 or $10 per sample plus shipping. So I don't know. I will do the math and the cost, but my goal is to do $5 quilting squares for custom doll fabrics. It might end up being $7, I think. But I think having just a little bit of fabric to sell that you can use for your dolls will be perfect. Yeah, it's probably going to end up being $7 if I do the math correctly. I really want it to be less than that, but until I can afford to buy a lot more, because the more you buy, the cheaper the fabric is. Until I can afford to buy more, then it's probably going to end up being a little bit of expensive fabric. But it's custom fabric, it's unique, one-of-a-kind fabric, and it's tailored to a niche hobby. So it's, oh my God, would you just cut straight? Cut straight! There we go. That's good enough. No, it's not. It's gonna bother me. It's going to bother me. There we go. Cute. I'm just going to continue talking to you guys as I cut this fabric, and then I'll show you the fabrics that I got. This is my custom Hello Kitty fabric. I got 2 of them. I love the Hello Kitty, and I'm not too concerned at the moment for kind of infringing a bit on the Serrano brand. It is considered a no-no, but at the time, I mean, you can go into any Chinese store and find knockoff stuff that isn't really branded correctly. And so I'm not too concerned about it. If I get a cease and desist, I'll definitely follow those rules. But for now, fan art is perfectly fine. I will do what I can until I can figure something else out. I don't own my own store just yet. If I did, this would be something I couldn't do. But considering I am an individual and I'm not really mass selling these, not yet. If I were to own my own store and start mass selling or mass producing stuff, then I would have to be far more careful than I am now. But considering I'm just an individual and I'm selling very limited amount, very limited supplies, then there is a little bit of leeway when it comes to that. Now, everyone's going to have their own opinion, but that is my opinion at the moment. It will probably change as time goes on. My opinions do change quite often, but I'm quite happy with how this is. I think it's perfectly fine to sell fan art, but I want to be able to eventually sell my own art to the same degree. But at the same time, I was like, when I was younger, I always wanted certain fan arts as a certain thing, but they don't make it. Like when I was first starting my Etsy store, when I was like in my teenager years or my early 20s, I sold fan jewelry, which was basically screen grabs that I particularly liked, that the fandom particularly liked, and I turned them into jewelry. And people loved it because at the time there wasn't many availabilities for female fandoms. There wasn't like cute shirts. You would have to go and get like a male shirt or a unisex shirt and, you know, enjoy your fandom that way. So I started making and creating jewelry for females that loved a male dominant fandom. So, and it sold nicely. Now I am making doll stuff, and it's interesting when it comes from a time perspective. Now, time and money. You spend money to make money. You spend time to make money. And I find that when I'm making the dog clothes, I'm spending more time making dog clothes than I am like if you were to take everything I make from dog clothes and divide how much time it takes me to make them by how much I'm selling it, I'm making below minimum wage because it takes me a long time to make the clothes, but I can only sell them for a certain amount. And because people aren't going to buy a dress that costs $200 for a doll. No, that's not feasible. So I have to sell it for like $40 maximum. $15 is what usually is what people want, but it's difficult to sell something based upon the time it takes. So what I do is I try to sell it based upon the materials used plus a profit that I kind of want, and then I ignore the time it takes to make it and the hourly wage I would want for the time it takes. So to give you an example, to be a freelancer in today's society as a designer, you could make $30 an hour to be a freelancer. That means that you don't have insurance. You have to pay for your own insurance, which can on average be, let's say, $800. So if I were to put that into making doll clothes as an actual feasible, job, it's not possible. No, it's not. And I think most in the hobby who make clothes for dolls and sell them understand that limitation. It's not something you can make a living off of. So what else could I sell that I could potentially one day make a living off of that doesn't take a lot of time? Well, fabric doesn't take a lot of time for me to design, whether it's buying the design, which takes no time at all, or making the design myself or editing a design. It'll take me maybe, because of how good I am at my particular craft, it will take me maybe 15-30 minutes max. Because I've been in this industry, I've been a designer for over 15 years. And so I understand how to make things really quickly, but my time comes at a price. And so if I were to put that price to the fabric making and then the pattern making for the fabric and then the money it takes to put the fabric together and hire someone out to print the fabric, it's actually more feasible to become a job if I can get it to actually take off. And so doll scale fabric has been my thing lately because I think it's possible. I think there is a possibility of me being able to personally design, or buying the correct licensing to design fabric. I really want to be able to personally design my own fabric and have people love my designs enough that they want to buy my fabric. But I'm not to the point where I have that time and availability to do. So, but I do have enough money that I can set aside to buy my own licensing for fabric. So I buy the licensing and then I buy the fabric. The fabric itself is pretty expensive, but if you divide it and you sell it as this is quality. This is actually pretty, it's medium quality, I would say, mainly because it's a thin material and I wanted it to be a thin material. I could have gotten the better quality fabric, spent a little extra money, but I wanted the thinner fabric because it's easier to sew with for doll clothes. Believe it or not, the thinner fabric, the cheaper fabric, is nicer for smaller clothes. But I've digressed. Today is just to sit with me and listen to me bitch. But I am really happy with how this is going. I hope this isn't turning people off. I enjoy listening to people talk. I love to go online and listen to people talk for like studio studio vlogs. So this is my version of a studio vlog. It's just sitting here cutting fabric, getting ready for a store opening, getting my samples, and getting things ready to make. I want to do some of this in like a fleece or a minky fabric. I think that would be really cute. Fleece, definitely fleece. This one with the little boy letters on it, I think would make a really cute fleece pajama. I have so many to cut. I lost track of what I'm going to talk about now. The print of this fabric came out far better than I expected. I did a lot of sublimation printing of this fabric before I sent it out to print. And after I did the sublimation printing, I got a good idea of what scale to do things at that not only fit the 1/12 scale Obitsu dolls, but also my Blythe dolls. And I developed this just, I took the pattern, I bought the pattern, and then I developed the look and feel of my, my fabric based upon designs I already had for dresses, for Obitsu, the one, I think some people call it the 1/8 scale or 1/12 scale Obitsu dolls. They're the Nendroids that I've been really, really interested in lately, and I think these fabrics work really well with the Nendroid aesthetic. And I think it just comes out fantastic. I am really, really pleased with things that this comes out really well. Like, this is sharp. The print is sharp. Now I know a lot of it has to do with I saved everything at 300 pixels per inch. These are all vector images, so all of that comes into account when I am making these images and putting these things together, is that you have to have it a certain way so that the potential of these coming out good is very high. The next thing is how well your printer is. And so when your printer prints these out, you have to give it a strong base in which to follow. And if you give it a strong base, like if you give it the highest resolution, you give it the highest color information, you give it just enough accuracy so that when it does print out these items, it's not downsizing from something that's already been downsized. To give you a example, you take a small picture and you blow it up on your Word document, it's going to look very pixelated, very blurry. It's not going to look good. But if you were to take a very large image and downsize it to something very small, it's going to look very crisp, very clean, very nice. And so that is what I did when I was making these particular fabrics, is I was making it so that they printed out as cleanly as possible. And I'm so happy. I am so happy how these came out. Like, you wouldn't believe, these are quality. The print is so quality. And even though it's a lightweight fabric, this is going to work so well. I am so happy. Now I just need to start putting things together in a savings account so that I was thinking of maybe putting together $1,000. In the grand, that's a lot of money to me. Like, that's a lot of money to me. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not when it comes to making and owning a business. $1,000 really isn't much to spend on something, but that's a lot of money to me. And so I want to be able to get a strong amount. Now, if I can only spend $500, I'd be really happy if that's how much I can get these down to. And the person that I am doing my vendorship with, who's printing these out for me, is really nice. I enjoy working with them. Could I find the fabric for cheaper? Yes, I can. But relationship, when it comes to making a marketing stuff, is very important. You want to have a strong relationship with your vendor, which is the person that you're using to make your item. You have to have a strong relationship with them so that if anything arises, you have that support. So like, if something doesn't arrive the way it's supposed to be, or how you've proofed it with them, then you have a relationship with your vendor so that y'all can work out the details of fixing it. And if you have a very good customer service, which this place has a very good customer service, it makes it more likely for you to work with them. It's like going to a store. You like stores that will provide you with the best service possible. If you went to a store that didn't provide you with good service, you're not going to go there again. The same with the restaurant industry. If their food is great, but their waiter is shit, you're not going to go back. Let's face it, you are not going to go back to the restaurant with the really mean, nasty, or really lethargic, doesn't really give two shits about their job kind of waiter. And so that's the same way I feel when it comes to buying fabric or buying wholesale materials, is you want them to be good. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video. It's going to be so long. I'm jumping from one idea to the other as I make this. Long ways, long ways. Done. I'm almost done. I only have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 left. I also wanted to show you my dolls. So I have been sculpting this doll as of late. It is a egghead doll. It is tiny. His head cap is still being sculpted. I broke the first cap, so I had to make a new one. And this new one was just a little bit too flat, so I've been adding more clay. Now this is Milliput Superfine clay I used to sculpt the doll. I also use Tester's contouring putty to fill up any little gaps and things that happen. Like here, he has a bunch of little dents inside his head cap, which I'm probably going to fill up if they don't sand very nicely. I am almost done with him. He's so close. I have sprayed him with a sandable primer that also has a filler. So after I sand certain areas, there's little scratches. And so that sandable filler primer will fill up those little scratches, and I can just buff the rest of what doesn't get filled. And it's really nice. You need to listen to it. This Milliput is almost like plastic itself. It is so fine. I am really excited about it. And I'm going to show you it compared to the dolls that I used as reference. So these are the STO dolls that I used as reference. I have two. We have the pouty girl and the girl with the little tongue sticking out. They actually have a doll with the bottom lip being bit, but I couldn't find her for sale. She's biting her bottom lip is what I'm doing. And so I used that as reference image to make this particular doll. The only thing I didn't like about these dolls is that their noses are kind of flat and their ears lack a little bit of dimension. So I've been doing a little bit of artist recreation, just adding my own flair to it. So it's not completely copied from that. Granted, I am sculpting it by hand, so it's not exactly a copy in itself, but I am really happy. I've been using like bowls, like tiny bowls, to kind of push the mold in there and then making them hollow, and or taking like a ball of tinfoil and sculpting on it as well. I've been kind of doing all kinds of things until eventually I got this one. Another thing I've been doing is making packaging. So these dolls actually use packaging for eyes. Excuse me, I just coughed a lot, and so now I'm trying to breathe. So what these dolls use is 10mm eyes. These two particularly have glass eyes, and I have a pair of glass eyes for my gray doll here on the right. And what I've been doing is making packaging for their eyes. I'm getting packaging for the round eyes as well as the flat backs. And then I'm also looking into making displays. So if I were to go to an artist alley, I can display the eyes in this little box. Take them out and put them in these sleeve boxes so that each individual eye is being sold to a person. I actually changed my mind from this particular sleeve to a clear sleeve. I think it looks a lot nicer. I am also making boxes. So this is one of the box designs. This was my original. And this is some of my ideas going on this. But I'm going to show you my final design so far. So what we have here is a ribbon box design, which means that it's going to be closed. When you open it, it's going to be closed with a ribbon in the front. And so when you open it, like so, you're going to see right here is actually going to be a letter or a certificate, a birth certificate of your doll. And then when you remove the birth certificate, which is going to be in a letter that has a wax seal, so it's going to be nice and fancy. It's going to be a black cardstock letter, and then when you open it, it's going to have the white cardstock birth certificate in it. So the envelope is going to be black, like a nice black, and then the birth certificate is going to be in that envelope, and the envelope's going to be sealed with a wax seal. I think it's going to, my first initial thought is red, but I might do it brown, since black and brown are my color choices for my store. Once you remove that envelope, you're going to see a black foam, and then around here is the brown box. So I'm doing craft brown boxes. The boxes are also going to have a black ribbon that closes it. So you're going to remove this particular piece of foam, and then underneath it you're going to have open sets where you have your doll is going to fit here. Now this is to scale. Then you're going to have your eyes, which are going to fit here, doll clothes, extra hands, and a wig. Each doll set is going to come complete with everything besides maybe shoes, because I don't know how I'm going to source shoes just about yet. So here is a side view. We have the area on the top. Then we have the doll body. The doll head dips below, so the body is going to be nice and suspended in the middle of the foam. The clothes go deeper than the eyes. The same thing with the wig, the hands here. But I think most people are going to be interested in this top view, where you take this particular piece of foam, open it, and then you have your doll. And I'm really proud of how this looks. I'm really excited. So that's what I've been up to lately. I have a new family member, and I'm really excited to have Monster as part of my family now. She's super fierce, super angry, and I just love her to bits and pieces. A little tired right now because I've been doing a lot today, and my camera decided to die on me, but I have been really busy working on this beautiful little dolly on the side with this little head cap. It's going to be a BJD style doll. I also got a bunch of beads, and I'm going to 3D print some beads so that I can make the body of the doll next. I really want this doll to be an inexpensive doll, something that you might find in AliExpress, but I also want it to be a quality doll. I love these beads. And I am really excited. I don't know when things are going to be done. When it comes to my fabric, I do want the fabric to be here by the end of this month, so I'm going to order it relatively soon. At least I'm going to order the Halloween fabric. I'm trying to think about how much fabric I want. I think she quoted me for some fabric earlier, so I'm going to see what that quote was and figure that out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to finish sculpting the doll and finish sculpting the body of the doll. I also have this project in the background, which is my next project. It's going to be a custom Nendoroid, and so I'm going to try and do that today. I also have some commissions that I've been working on for my Etsy store, so I'm going to finish that. Probably close down my commissions for a couple of weeks because I've been a little bit tired. So I'm going to do my commissions that I have open right now, and then close it down for the rest of the month until next month, because I've been doing pretty much 2 commissions every weekend, and it's been taking up a lot of my time. So I am going to do that, and then I am going to do my custom. So that's what's been going on in my world. I've been just super busy. It isn't until this week that I have had a little bit more free time. I've just been so, like, my work situation has just been so out of control, and I am just so tired, like really, really tired, like mentally exhausted. And so that's what I'm going to be doing, is trying to do stuff that really uplifts my spirit, because after everything that's happened, now I have this added stress of, am I going to be fired or not? And so I don't know what's going on, and I'm super bummed out, and so I really wanted to do something fun today. I took a personal day for Monday just so that I can, do things fun, get my mind off of it. My family had a death because of COVID just last weekend, and so the funeral was this past Thursday. So I've been doing that, dealing with that. My mom's dog died, and then my mom came to visit me yesterday. She left this morning, and so I mean, it was nice to see her, and I'm just trying to keep things together, keep my mood awesome, and keep and just keep making YouTube videos for you guys, because I enjoy making YouTube videos. I enjoy seeing everybody. Just recently I got 500 subscribers, sorry. I'm super excited about that. I love each and every one of you. I just really appreciate the support of this channel and this community, and I am really happy to see you guys. I'm really sorry I haven't been on very much this last month. So I'm really hoping to rekindle some of those relationships and just have fun, see how everybody's doing, and just enjoy doing a hobby that makes me happy. And so that's what I've been doing. Um, what else? Oh, so I actually have the outcome for the giveaway I did last month. It ended at the beginning of the month, but because I was so busy with work, I haven't been able to send those emails out. So expect those emails next weekend when I choose the winners. I'm going to use like a random choice. I think Gleam lets you randomly choose a person to win. So I'm going to choose the 3 winners and send out the emails. If I don't hear back from them for like a week, I'll send out a new email, and we will eventually, at least at the beginning of next month, I will send out the winner's clothes for a Blythe doll. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really happy. Thank you all who have joined in on the contest. Sorry it's taken me so long. I have been so busy with work that like I just recently got back into some of my hobby. The only thing I've been doing this past month is doing box openings, and that's the only thing I've really had time for, is like the 15 minutes it takes to open a box and talk about the things inside. So I just haven't been I just haven't been as active as I used to, and it's made me really upset. And so I really hope you guys are still with me and you still support this channel. If you do, please give it a comment. It really goes a long way to helping out this channel. Just say hello, say hey, or whatever you would want. Just tell me about your day, if you're having troubles with work too, or if whatever about your hobby that makes you happy, put it in the comments. I will love to read it, love to respond, and love to interact with you guys. Sometimes this whole COVID situation can make you feel very isolated, so I don't generally see too many people. Besides my mother who came this week, I haven't seen anybody in over a month because I've been so busy. Besides my boyfriend who comes and visit me, but even still, I will talk to my boyfriend. I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta go, I gotta work. And so I'm just really happy that I still have you guys with me and I have that support. And I hope you guys are enjoying this video, or the videos that I produce, whether it's the tutorials I do for sewing or just the little day in the life of little video, which is what this one is. And yeah, I am so glad to have you here. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube-y stuff. Thank you for watching. Bye bye now. So excited.